Welcome to my nightmare. Welcome to pod time.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, brother.
He's not talking to me.
Hi, brother. That's not how we normally do it.
Well, just changing it up. Welcome to Pod Time. I'm one of your hosts, Arlie.
And I'm Pat.
Casey?
How was your guys' hey brother, how's your guys' week?
Uneventful for the most part. Just working. I mean, they did decide that I was going to be moving. So
You're
next month
abandoning
I'll
us.
be moving to a different state at the end of next month.
How is that working, man? Like, what? So, do you have like a new job lined up, or are you just starting fresh?
Yeah, I have a job lined up. Nothing exciting, but you know.
He's gonna be out on the streets hooking.
Yeah. I had already talked to him in private, so he already knows all the details.
It's good stuff.
Thanks for informing me on pod.
I'd buy that. I'd buy that for $1.
So, what are your going prices?
I haven't got all of that worked out. I have a consultant that I'm supposed to meet with as soon as I get in town, and we're gonna figure out all that stuff. I did not know that they had consulting firms for that, but apparently they do. I did
Crazy.
almost get hit by a semi truck the other day. I was driving on a highway, but there was a couple of lights left before the lights disappeared. Like the one before the last one, it turned yellow, and I'm like, I'm gonna gun it. And then as I was gunning it, I was like, I got plenty of time to stop. And it looked like there might be a camera at that light. So I'm going to put on the brake now, So I had to hit it a little aggressively. And as I did, I looked in my rearview mirror and there was a semi like right behind me. So I figured he thought I was going to blow through it and he was going to blow through right past me because he was so close. So I just stomped back on the gas and went through the light. And then he came through the light as well. And I heard something like he might have hit the curb or something like that, but nobody crashed or anything.
You
But it was very close.
gotta look at your mirrors before you just decide to brake check. You could have been a pancake. Nope. He's a robot. Well,
my fault it was my fault.
So you're back. We hear you now. You froze out. Yeah, you froze out.
Completely. You were like,
oh, great. I'm glad that was the face that I froze out on.
As a trucker, I'm going to advocate for the trucker.
I figured that you would, but I still think he was too close to me. But again, I didn't try to skirt fault. I said what I did, and then I avoided it though after that. So
shame on that trucker for assuming you were going to blow through a yellow.
Yeah, as a trucker, you should know what happens when you assume.
Yeah.
And if I was going through a yellow, he was going through a red. Instead, we both ended up going through a red. So.
Well, it also takes them a whole lot to slow down.
I know that's why I pressed back on the gas because I knew
as
we
you
wouldn't
should
be able
have.
to stop. Yeah,
making last minute decisions to like, oh, maybe I shouldn't run this. Maybe I should be doing the speed limit and slow down ahead of time.
Yeah, that's what that trucker should have been thinking as well.
You civilian drivers are the worst.
Yeah, we have different rules that we drive by, I guess. Truckers are allowed to just run
It's the
through
way of the road, boys. It's the way of the road.
That's the way she goes.
Oh, he cut out again on a face.
The same face, too. I don't even know how that got... That's got to be like 1 in a million shot.
You cut out again on a face.
Yeah, I heard you. You guys didn't freeze. I guess I just froze.
So, for me, it's...
But did you hear when I said I was very accommodating to truckers? I'm very nice to truckers. So I definitely didn't do it on purpose.
I mean, they could kill people pretty easy.
Yeah.
They're a lot heavier than people think.
Crackheads. I know we know about it because I posted in the chat, but I had an interesting drive.
Oh, yes.
Earlier this week. But for the audience's sake, I was driving down the freeway and I must have. It was like 8 miles worth at least that this crackhead. And the only reason I know it was a crackhead is because at one point I drove next to her to try to like flag her down and be like, "Hey, lady, you're dragging your bumper." For we gotta, if we can, you should upload that photo and post. But there was like her entire bumper was hanging off for the people that don't know from one corner all the way outward. So there was a good like 5 feet of bumper just sticking out past her back end.
Your arm
But she
turned
was
into a
dragging it.
nub.
And no, oh my god, my arm is gone.
Nubbin.
Uh, it's okay. I still got a lot done. But she was dragging that thing for like 8 miles plus, and I finally just had to pass her. I don't know where she was going or like when she got off, but I guarantee she didn't notice until she got out of that car. There
That,
was everybody and their mother honking at her. And the only reason I say she was a crackhead is because when I drove next to her, you could see that she could see she was like in her mid 30s, but her face looked like she was in her 50s. And she had no teeth because her mouth was one of those like sucked in.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, yeah, the crackhead look right there. And the fact
She's
that
been
she
toothless
didn't
for a
even,
while.
yeah, she was high on something for her to not notice that she was dragging a bumper like all
Was it
the
making
way.
sound? Like you hear it through the car
Yeah,
with your windows up? Yeah.
not that loud, but I mean, in your own car, you definitely hear vibrations outside of it a
Yeah.
lot more. So as a driver, you're aware of your car more than most people are. But for her to not notice whatsoever and to ignore everybody's warnings and signs and trying to flag her down, she had to be on something.
the
Arizona traffic, man.
8 miles is a long ways to decide to finally pass somebody.
Well, I was behind her for like I was like 3 lanes, 3 lanes to the left of her, and I got on the freeway at like 95th, and I was like, "What the fuck is this lady doing?" And I just like I was going relatively fast, so was she. So I didn't want to increase my speed because it was the middle of the day, so I don't want to get ticketed. And I wasn't in a big rush as is, so I was like, I got time, I'll take my time. And we just kept going in the same general direction for like it was like this. And we just kept going. And we went all the way from 95th until I got off the 51. So
Wow.
It didn't happen
yeah.
this week,
Long
but
way.
I'd say the craziest thing I seen was on one of my trips to Albuquerque. It was a regular truck pulling like a camper trailer behind it. And we were just out of Black Canyon City where like you're starting to go down a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And you could pick up speed on it really quick. And it's like I'm in the left lane because I'm going a lot faster than him, and he's in the right lane. And we start going downhill, and he's a little bit in front of me, and I see his trailer start to fishtail, and I don't know what the hell he did. If he was like trying to like move his truck to like correct it, but like it started wobbling really bad, and it hit like an angle, and he shot up and over and went down the mountain.
Oh my god!
And
Shit.
it was
Oh my
like
god!
it was the craziest thing I've seen like physically happen.
Do you know what
Oh.
happened after that? Did you call anybody? Did you hear anything on the news or anything?
There was a lot of people behind me that stopped, and I was like, well, if they're dead, they're going to be wanting to interview all of us, and I don't want to be here for the next 8 or 9 hours just
Yeah,
because
if
I
like other
seen
people
it.
stop, they're gonna call the cops. They're gonna tell them what happened. So, oh
I,
I
my
was just
I
god,
driving,
that's
and this guy
nuts!
started swerving, and then over she went.
like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit for leaving, but I was like,
Rules of the road.
yeah,
You gotta make your delivery. No truck driver will
Yeah,
send
yeah,
against
yeah.
you. You
uh,
can't be late.
those Costco flowers were important.
Damn right. Those moms needed their flowers.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was Mother's Day and Valentine's Day at the same time.
I'd say the
It's a
craziest
double-header.
thing I seen though, but I didn't see it happen, was going into the California at the border. There was a dead body just there, covered in a blanket, like at the port of entry, and they were just letting people
Hey,
go by, and I was like, "There's a dead body here. You think you'd be like, not right now?"
Yeah, or like making like a route to go around a different way or
But
something.
it was, as I was coming up. If I got out of my truck, I could have been at that body within like 6 steps. Like I'm in one
Uh-huh.
lane, and it was right on the outside of the lane right next to me as I was coming up. And I was like, that's a dead body under there. That's crazy. They're just
Dang.
they're just letting people drive by it.
the craziest thing I've ever seen was I was actually on the phone with you that day, but I was driving to work one day, and it felt like I was in a fucking Fast and Furious movie for a second there. This Charger, he went to go into a lane, and there was another car there, so he jerked back real quick, but he lost control, and he like started like fishing back and forth, and he actually spun 180 degrees and then kept going, and then flipped back around to correct himself, but he got insanely close to me, and I was like, he was on the phone with me, and the whole time I was just like, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" I was just like
Oh
freaking
wow.
out because I was like, "I'm gonna." I thought for sure I was gonna get smacked, and somehow he corrected and then like straightened out and then kept going, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Jesus Christ! Vin Diesel was next to me this whole time."
Yeah, I wonder if they did that on purpose or not.
I don't know. It was nuts. I'd never saw anything like that in my life. I
I
can't
guess
believe
I'll
he correct.
go. I guess I'll go as well. I saw something very similar, and I guess I haven't seen too much crazy stuff. I've seen the aftermath of some crazy stuff, but I didn't actually see it happen. But one time, I was with Jake on the freeway, and a few car lengths ahead of us, let's say 6 car lengths ahead of us, there was this Jeep, and it had a tire blow, and it started to fishtail real quick, and then it started to spin in a circle, and it went, and this was heavy traffic too, but somehow, some way, it spun all the way up. It was in the middle lane, spun all the way to the left lane, and then all the way back and stopped in the hazard lane, and didn't hit anybody. I have no idea how it happened. It was a miracle because there was a lot of traffic, but everybody noticed and everybody kind of stopped and whatever too. But still, spun in a circle, moved all the way across the freeway 1.5 times, didn't hit a person.
They got lucky.
That's those are the moments where I'm like, does God really exist? Because sometimes you wonder, like, how the fuck people survive moments like that. Because
Yeah,
it just like you think about the physics behind it and like the quick actions that it takes to be able to like pull that off, and you're like, there's no way he did that or she did that or whoever did that. I was like,
yeah,
somebody had to intervene because how they didn't flip or hit another vehicle, beyond me.
yeah.
That's gnarly, man.
Speaking of God, have you guys seen the new Alien trailer? I know you did because we watched it together.
Yes, yes, with um Aliens being the franchise that won our movie tournament, so we're going to review that whole franchise, and then coincidentally, I didn't even know. I don't know if you guys did, but that there's a new Alien movie coming out. The trailer just dropped for it, so we checked it out. And what did you guys think?
It looks like a different take, almost like it's the face huggers seem like a
That's
lot
what I was
more
about to
fast
bring
and
up.
agile,
I was gonna
and
say the same thing. I
it
was
could
gonna
just
say
be the
it feels like they're
trailer.
more. I don't know. I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, I felt like they were far more aggressive, and like it felt like they hunted versus
Mhm.
just like because in the past Aliens, it always was like, oh, where are we at? What are these weird egg things? What's crawling out of it? Let me take a look inside. And then it's like ah.
Yeah,
Whereas
and
in
they
the
were actually
trailer, it
attacking
was
them.
like
I guess it's been so long since I've seen the
hunting.
first two Aliens. I guess I'm not so familiar with how they typically work. But I was wondering watching it if it is tied in and what way it's tied into the other movies. I assume it is, but I thought Danny McBride would be in it again, or maybe like David, from Convergence.
I don't know if this is supposed to be a continuation of the Prometheus timeline, or if
It was its
this,
own thing.
or I'm not sure where this falls in the timeline. Because
I'd be interested to check it out. Say the trailer did look good, and it definitely looked more horror movie than some of them are. Um, but I also kind of fear like a lot of like the good stuff was shown in the trailer too. It was pretty good.
Do you guys want to know?
that's why I don't watch trailers.
You
Yes, you're
guys,
talking about know whether or not it's tied in.
yeah. So it's set between Alien 1979 and Aliens 1986.
Really?
So between
Yeah,
Alien
it's
1 and Alien
20.
2.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's cool. So we definitely will make sure. I mean, it doesn't come out till August, so we'll have plenty of time to watch the Alien movies. But we need to at least get the first one done before then. So whenever I see it, I know what shout outs and Easter eggs there are and such.
Yeah.
Does it have a
Yeah.
director? Is like Ridley Scott involved or anything like that?
I know, I don't think he's the director, but I know he's involved because I've seen his name. It was in the trailer somewhere. He's not the director. He might
He's
be
probably like a
a
producer.
yeah, producer or like co-writer,
Must be
maybe.
cool.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I think it's cool that it is coming out right after we decided we were going to review that franchise. So it'll be nice. I mean, hopefully we can get the movies watched by the time that it comes out because I know the schedules are going to be kind of wonky here pretty quick.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
I'll find out more. Find out more next week. And now with you moving, man, you really have something in the in there, don't you? With your, it's like it's huge. Every time it flies in front of your face, it blocks out a good
Well, it
portion of
was
you.
just at that time it was right up against the lens. But yeah, I always get a lot of flies when I leave the door open because I don't have like screen or anything like that. So there's usually something around.
Speaking of flies, have you guys seen X-Men 97?
That was decent. There
Good
were definitely
signals.
some flyers in there. I've only seen half of the first episode. What about you guys?
I've watched
I
both that were available.
I
Hmm.
watched the first episode, but I don't want to say how it ends because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Hmm.
But I didn't expect it, so I'm
I
interested to see where they take it.
I watched a video that reviewed him, and it was probably pretty full of spoilers, but I can't even remember it. So I'm still
Mm.
taking it all in as new. But yeah, I thought the voices all sounded great. The theme song it was a little bit different, but it was pretty much the same. I feel like it was missing a couple of missing something though, but it still sounded good. I still for a brief moment whenever when the intro was on, I was like, oh yeah, childhood.
I think they
Yeah.
changed it because there was a lawsuit against it. The
Mm.
original theme. There was a
Yeah, because
lawsuit.
they stole it from somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
I
So
felt
It
like
was
the
still
ending was
basically the
definitely
same thing.
different.
There were just like some accents that were missing from the original, or at least from the X-Men animated series version.
yeah, it was pretty good. It's a nice continuation.
Like
Yeah.
Cyclops looked really good in the bits that I've seen so far. He had a good action scene in the beginning of the first episode.
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised at how well the animation was. I didn't think that they were going to change the animation style a lot more than what they did.
Mm.
Just because, everything that comes out nowadays, even though it's either a remake or a continuation, a lot of the animation style feels like it's got that bubblier, brighter tone to it. And honestly, it had a little bit more of a crispness. I'll admit that it didn't have like that as gritty effect, but at the same time, the animation style and the coloring was fairly similar to the original. I think they did justice, and it's nice that they brought back a good a good portion of the voice actors of the original cast.
The the storyline so far is really good. It's enough to where I don't feel weird watching it as an adult. Like
Yeah, it always had good stories too. That's cool that they still do.
like sometimes when I'll go back and watch cartoons, you could just tell it was written specifically for a kid, and you look at it different, and you're like, I remember this being good, but now through my adult eyes, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, I used to
But
love Bobby's World, and I got a DVD one time at Zia, and I put it on, and this was 15 years ago or so, but yeah, I was not impressed. I was very much looking forward to it, and I was not impressed.
I have very fond memory of Bobby's World, so you just pretty much told me don't buy it. Keep your memories
Don't
intact.
keep your memories. Do not watch it.
That happens from time to time, but this definitely held up. It brought me back to being a kid,
Yeah.
but I was still able to enjoy it as an adult. Like very adult themed. The original one was very adult themed too. Like
Mhm.
it was for kids to sell toys, but like the writing team back then did a lot with it.
Spot on writing team.
I think most of the writing team came back for it as well too.
Well, I know the main guy got fired or whatever. I don't know if he was how much writing he was doing, if he was just directing, but I thought he was writing.
I seen something
You're
about
fired.
that. He got fired like 2 days before they released it,
Yeah.
but that sucks. I don't know if he was around for the original stuff or if he was like a new
No, he
guy.
wasn't. He looked pretty young, so I don't think so. But I
Was
think
he
he's
was
probably
he
a
the
kid and a
director?
fan and watched it, but I don't think he was a writer then. But I don't know. I don't know. I just seen a picture of him and he looked young, but looks can be deceiving.
This is the first thing Marvel has done since Endgame, or rather Disney, not Marvel, because it's Disney using the Marvel name, but it's the first thing Disney's done with Marvel product that I've liked since Endgame.
Oh yeah. And so you're
I
not counting Guardians of the Galaxy because that's more Marvel than Disney.
Do you?
it
I
was
don't know. I don't know what content he did, but do you guys want to know why he was fired?
I think I know, but tell me just in case.
So apparently, DeMeo's OnlyFans was a major sticking point, according to this this article. They said that Snyder's comments were that it was unsettling and creepy content that he was putting out on his OnlyFans page, and
allegedly.
that's what got him allegedly.
I
I
saw
added that
some.
in
I
there.
saw a YouTuber
Alleged.
that talked about it, and he put some pictures on it that were censored. But yeah, he was fully naked in them. And he also said that he signed up for the OnlyFans after he got the gig as the X-Men showrunner or whatever, or head writer, whatever his title is.
I
So
don't
that's
get it. I
also
mean,
weird about it too.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, at the same time, like, how the fuck are they going to have it? I get that there's always like a moral, you know, to
Well, you're
protect.
working at Disney. You're working and at Disney is a kids brand, so you just can't do that.
Yeah, I guess. But what they own so much now that they can't be like, oh, we're all for kids. It's like
Yeah,
you own a
no, I mean
lot of titles that
that's
are for
true, but he's
adults.
directly working on a kid's show. I mean, this show is really for us,
Yeah. I mean,
but
yeah, yeah, it is. That's the thing. Is like that's another thing too. It's like it's clearly for our generation,
Mhm.
even though it's meant to like grab at the little kids or younger kids generation while tying in their parents' generation to like have that bonding
Yeah,
effect for both generations to be able to be like, oh, I love this as a kid. Now my kid can enjoy it as you know. I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, how many people are going to be like, oh, did you hear the writer of this show? Like, how many kids are really going to be like, I saw that guy's account, his dick is hairy. Like, who's gonna fucking do that? Like,
I mean
honestly,
they might.
it's the weirdest shit, man.
They
I
all
don't
have
know.
phones and stuff now. They look up the series and they see the creator and they're curious about the creator, so they look him up, and then there's a link to his OnlyFans there. I mean, it's only a couple clicks away.
I get it,
If
but
they
I don't know,
Google
man.
X-Men '97, it's only 3 clicks away.
I mean, until you guys brought up the fact that he was fired. You know what's funny is I doubt. Like that's the thing is like it took another writer to find out how many people would it have how long would it have taken somebody to find it out naturally, and honestly, like how long would it have taken to spread around before it like became like some weird ass thing. And on top of that, you have to be 18 to access OnlyFans, or at least legally, right? So
Yeah,
Not long.
to be honest,
nobody who's ever is not
I just
18 or anybody who doesn't have account has ever seen anything from OnlyFans ever.
no, I know, I get it. I get people like, "Are you 18?" Yes. Like I get it. I get that like that's the biggest thing. If they don't ask for ID, they don't try to like there's no verification process. Unless you're creating your account, then I'm sure that there's some verification process.
I'm
But
just saying that I understand. I don't hate the guy or anything like that, but
no, I
I
hear about
understand
it
the
a
reason.
lot. There's a lot of people that have gotten fired over similar situations regarding OnlyFans accounts and what they do in their
As
personal life.
as they should. Creating
Okay.
smut. Those filthy heathens.
I mean, I don't know what
If
he
it's not
does.
somebody that
Maybe it
works
is.
with kids or directly with kids, I don't think it should really matter as much. But
Yeah.
I think it'd be weird for your doctor to have an OnlyFans or whatever too. I
Jesus
mean,
loves the little
I'm glad you
children.
brought that up because there was a nurse that was recently fired that's gaining a lot of publicity because she was fired over her OnlyFans page
Is she
as
hot
well.
though?
Yeah, she was pretty good.
Okay, well that's fine. We're talking about dudes.
I mean,
rules of the
that's what I
road.
said. It's
Dudes
a
on
slippery slope.
OnlyFans. Dudes
It's a
on
slippery
OnlyFans
slope. I don't.
deserve to get fired. Hot
It's
women
a
though, that's
slippery
fine.
slope. This guy got fired, and then she got fired. It's a slippery slope, man.
You
Maybe
just want to keep saying slippery slope.
I do. Because she
Speaking
hits
of,
some
No.
slippery slopes. I'm just kidding.
speaking of slippery slopes, I've got a Duck Duck Truth game for you guys today.
Ooh,
Yeah. Okay, right on.
that's a better transition, actually.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is, but
It's a better one than. Hey, speaking about flying, XT-97.
yeah. Storm flies, rogue flies. We saw
Yeah,
it.
that's
We
true.
saw it happen.
That's
All
true.
right, I am ready for Duck Duck Truth.
Bring it.
Okay, number one. I made my mom rent Beetlejuice so much that the store ended up eventually giving her the copy of the VHS tape.
Cool.
Number two, I lived in an apartment complex where a lady went running around the complex naked, knocking on doors. And
See, slippery slopes.
number three, okay, do you guys remember Steve at all? Sounded a lot like Boomhauer. You might have met him like going over to Bob's place.
I've heard you talk about this guy, but I don't know him.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I vaguely remember the mention of him.
So his
Oh, I remember you doing like an impression of him. I don't know that I met him or talked to him or anything, but I kind of remember some of this. So you continue.
he had his niece living with him at one point, and the trailer that I don't know if he still lives there. He might, but the trailer he lived in, his room, like he took the master bedroom, and his niece took the other bedroom, and she found like a lump under the carpet, like in the closet. So she ripped up the carpet and found a manila envelope, and in it was probably somewhere between 70 to 100 Polaroid pictures of his parents swinging from like probably late 70s, early 80s. And for some reason, she brought them over to our house and gave them to us. And they were not good looking people at all. And we were like, why are you giving this to us? And she's like, I don't want to, I don't, essentially want to see my grandparents swinging, because they were swinging in some of those pictures. It was definitely a group activity in some of it.
Why couldn't she just throw it away? Did she already try? But then, like, she came back home and it was just on her bed again.
I don't know. It could have been one of those things like, check this out. I can't believe I found something like this. This is fucked up. But she just gave them to us. So we took those pictures really late at night and went to Steve's Jeep and put them everywhere, all over the Jeep, all over the seats of the Jeep. We lifted the windshield wipers and put them in there and put it down. And he ended up coming over to the house, and I was in the room, and I heard him out in the living room talking to Bob. Like, at first, he just walked in, and he's like, yeah, he was like, these pictures, and then sat there for a few minutes, like he just seen a ghost. And then he started talking about having all these pictures of his parents swinging. And I was in the room with the door open listening to him, trying my hardest to not fucking laugh. But yeah, we put pictures of
Can you
his
do an impression of what he was saying at the time?
it would have been like, I got these naked pictures of my parents, Bob. Come on, Bob. That's fucked up, Bob. Come on, man. Come on, man. Naked pictures of my parents all over my goddamn Jeep. Where'd these come from, Bob?
Okay.
More in
First
the style of
impression, Casey?
Boomhauer.
First
Who do you want?
impression.
First one
I
was Beetlejuice VHS
no, I
rental.
know. I remember them all. I don't want to say you Ming Chen this, but I swear to God, I heard that last story
You've
before.
probably heard a version of all
I
three
heard a
of these
version of that.
stories.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I think he froze again.
Honestly, first impression. Yeah, he did. At least his mouth's not open this time.
Oh my God.
You're back.
Sorry, dude. Just keep getting stuck.
Yeah. My first impression is 2 because I thought
Yeah.
that I had heard a story like that before, but then I thought I heard a story like the third one before too. So yeah, they're just all a little bit tweaked.
Yeah,
I
I
can
know the Beetlejuice one's not real because I swear to God, it was a Ninja Turtle movie. I'm pretty sure it was the Ninja
I can
Turtles that
I
that
can
he.
tell you
I remember that.
I can
All right,
tell
well,
you something. They're all based on true stuff, but only one of them is like wholly true. But they're
It
all
was
true.
it was either I think you know what it probably was. I bet it was that movie that he. What the fuck was it? Uh, Thrasher. What was it?
Thrashing?
Thrashing. Yeah, I bet that's the movie that he's probably referring to. That because that's
No,
the
we
one he
never
claims
rented
he
it.
watched.
That's
maybe
James's aunt had that. She had it
maybe
on
Run Ronnie
VHS.
Run.
And then it
Alright,
had to be
you
a Ninja Turtles movie because I remember something similar to that.
you
It
go
w-
But
first then on the
it
questions.
was back in the late '80s, early '90s, so I was a little kid.
Okay.
late '80s, early '90s, like the VHS.
Like when I was having my
Or
mom constantly rent it.
Are you gonna go first on the questions?
Like 90
sure,
at the latest, because I don't even think you were born yet.
you don't have to give this detail, man. It's okay.
I'm just letting you
This
know.
could have been a question. Okay. Then is all the detail about the first story true so far?
Everything I've just said, yeah.
Um, Trickster. All right, that's question one. Did you want to go back and forth or just shoot them all out at once?
Sure, we can go back and forth.
All right, go
Do
ahead.
you remember how many times you had your mom rent it before they gave it to her?
No, but it was one of those things where we would return it, and as soon as we would drop it in the box, we'd go inside, and she'd be like, "I'd like to rent that."
Oh wow.
I remember this. I know it wasn't Beetlejuice. I know it wasn't
And
Beetlejuice.
it happened so much that eventually it wasn't a chain yet. Like Blockbuster might have been around, but it was like a mom and pop shop.
Mm.
Pirate Video is the name, and they had a pirate deck ship. You'd walk up, and you'd be on the pirate deck ship, and you'd pay.
Oh,
It was
that was pretty
pretty.
cool.
It was cool. It was right there
All
off
right,
of
Casey.
67th and Bethany at that Fry's.
Alright,
That was a sweet place. I wish it still existed. I'd go there all the time.
he's given so many details. Like I don't even know what to
I'm
ask
reminiscing. I'm just reminiscing.
him. I
That was
know.
a fucking cool pirate ship.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
ask my second one then while you continue to think.
Go ahead. Yeah.
What was it about the movie Beetlejuice that you loved so much that made you want to rent it over and over again?
I liked that it was funny and dark, and Michael Keaton was my favorite actor. Still is.
Okay.
Best Batman, just saying it.
I
Best Batman
second
ever.
that.
Live action Batman.
That statement.
Best live action Batman. Because
Yeah. We all have an animated favorite.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, right.
Those are the only two answers that are accepted.
I agree.
Um, what was the cover of Beetlejuice? What did it look like? You rented it so many times. I know that they don't always add the cover on the rental, but for somebody that's such a fan of it, you would think that you would remember the cover.
It's been forever since I've watched it, but the cover would have been like just a white box. Let's see.
It's Googling it now.
Would have been like Beetlejuice on the front with
He's totally Googling it because I did the same exact thing just to just to fact check his ass. Okay, I'll drop it. Go.
I remember what the cover is though. It's purple and Beetlejuice is sitting on the top of a gravestone and he's going like this. And Winona Ryder's on one side and the other family's on the other. Something along those lines. Other creatures
The
and
white.
characters from the movie scattered around.
It's a purple background, and he's sitting on top of a white house with
White House.
what's her name? Gina
He's,
Davis,
and he's
right?
going like this, right?
Yeah, he's going like this. He's got the head
Gina
of
Davis and
Alec
Alec
Baldwin.
Baldwin, yeah.
Yeah, he's got the head of Alec Baldwin with his torso standing. They're like in a bride and groom outfit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Okay,
way
then
they
my
could bring
last
him back for
question.
that movie.
I have what's that?
So there's no way they'd bring Alec Baldwin back for that movie.
No, I guess not.
And I don't see his name on the cast lineup at all. Nor do I see Gina Davis. But is she alive still? Is Gina Davis still alive? I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know.
seen her recently. It seems.
Okay.
My
I know
last
she
question.
played in Grey's Anatomy.
I
Go
have
ahead.
two
I
questions, and I'm torn between which one to ask. But I'm going to go with, what is your favorite part of Beetlejuice, the movie?
Are you talking about now or as a kid?
Either or. I guess as a kid, what was your favorite part of the movie?
As a kid, it would have been when they were at the dinner table starting to sing the Deo song.
Hmm.
And in a close second was at the end when she was like, so can I do it? And he's like, I don't know. And Gina Davis is like, hey, stop shooting real guns and pretending like they're prop guns and killing people on set, allegedly, and just let her dance.
That was good. All right, Casey, last question.
Oh shit, that was such a good laugh. Uh,
That was good.
you said they made you buy it, right?
No,
Was
they
I
no, they gave it. They're like,
they just
you
gave it
can
to
you
you?
can
Okay.
we
Was
probably
it
we probably rented it for a year, and you got to think back then rentals were like 2 or 3 days max. 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 2 or 3
Really? I mean, I guess it was a newer movie then, because the newer movies were 2 days and the older movies were 7. That's how it was a Blockbuster or in Hollywood Video. I don't know about a mom and pop.
This one, it was like 2 or 3 days. There's also like
Is that the dog?
very late 80s or like 1990. Like Casey, I know Casey wasn't born yet. Because it was when we first moved into Oakwood Villa.
Okay. Was it even playable? Was it the same? Was it the same copy? You said it was the same copy you rented. Was it even playable after a year? After all the times of rewinding and going?
It wasn't messed up yet.
Okay.
I'm sure that's why they were like, just keep it, because it's got to be
It was a
fucked up.
throwaway question, but yeah, it was a throwaway question, but I really don't have any more. I don't know why, but I mean, I don't think it was Beetlejuice. I'm pretty sure I remember this, but it wasn't Beetlejuice.
Okay.
But all right, number 2.
Story 2. I'll go first. How often did this happen with the naked lady running around knocking on doors?
It happened a couple times because the cops had been called a couple times. Like at least 2 that I know of for sure. Back then, this was like 96. So
I know you were. You probably didn't know the exact, but like, how old did she look?
I'm just trying to put myself back in that to.
Yeah, because when you're young and you see somebody, it's hard to judge how old they are anyway. So
She probably would have been like mid-30s.
Okay.
Mid-30s to early 40, maybe. Looking like thinking of trying to picture her.
when you or your parents or whoever opened the door, what would she do when somebody opened the door?
When I witnessed this, we were already outside. We lived in Metro Terrace, and it's like there's a underground apartment level, and then there's like the second story, which is slightly above ground, and then there's a third story. She lived down on the first, and she was just running around, just banging on doors and running, and just.
Oh, so she wasn't waiting; she was just knocking on doors and running
She
away.
was just banging it like she was like a loony. Like I think she should have seriously been locked away.
This is my second question. But I'll ask. At any point, did she knock on your door, and did anybody answer?
We were already outside, so
Every time that this happened?
the time that I physically like seen it happening, yeah.
Okay.
Like my mom knew of other times.
All right. And since my third question's a throwaway, I'll just ask it anyway right now. Was she hot?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I was going to ask that too, but now I don't have to. I didn't think so because nobody would have called the cops.
Like, oh, come this way. I have the
What can I
aliens
do
you're
for you? How
looking
can I
for.
help?
Yeah. Hold on, slow down.
My third question would be, I don't think I have any more questions for this one. I'm good to pass to the next one.
And the third one was the Puerno pictures of Steve's mom and dad.
Swinger Polaroids. Now, I seem to remember this story, though, and I seem to remember it being a VHS tape and not Polaroids, but then the rest of that story wouldn't be possible with a VHS. So now I don't know. Now I'm questioning my own memory. I guess I will go first, and I will say, how old were you when this happened?
This would have happened in 2003. So it's like I already knew you by the time this happened.
Yeah.
I already graduated high school, so I would have been either 18 turning 19 or I would have just turned 19.
All right, Casey.
I missed out on what you asked. Shit, I'm sorry, Pat. Can you repeat what you asked me just now?
Oh, just your
Obviously,
turn. Your turn for the question on his third story. Oh, what
oh
I
no.
asked him as a
What
question?
you? Yeah. What did you
I
just
asked
ask
him how
me?
old he was.
Oh, okay. Um,
I know it was
You might as well
2003.
just throw them away. I
I
can't believe you
want to
just throw them
say
away. Why would you give them to somebody
you.
else instead of just throwing
Wait,
them
wait, wait.
away?
You said you put them on their truck, or
He
can I get
said
the detail again?
we,
Your
so I
story?
don't know.
We? Who was involved in putting it on the truck again? Or
Daniel?
who?
Not our Daniel.
Okay.
Black Daniel.
Hmm.
You
Excuse
remember
me.
him? No. Well, it was Black Daniel.
Okay.
Should I remember him? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know who you remember and who you don't.
When
But
you were in high school, we lost contact for a long time. I knew you before.
It's hard to
okay.
ask.
Oh, he cut out again.
They make some good stories.
Okay, you're back. We could hear you.
As I said, it's hard to ask stories or ask questions about these stories. I think that makes them good.
It does,
It's
yeah. I
hard to
think
it's
this
hard
might
to
be when he wins.
it's hard to dig
Honestly,
in.
I'm predicting he wins this one. This one for once. This is a hard
I
one.
I am going to say you said some of them they were swinging. What were they doing in the other ones?
It would be like solo pictures of like the grandma and like I'm guessing the grandma with the grandpa. I
Or
know
like
I
naked pictures of just them, and then
eh,
some were naked with other people, them and
yeah.
other people. Hmm. Gross.
And I mean this
I
had to
guess
be
I'm picturing a grandma and grandpa, though. I assume they were younger at the time, but still, like I think you said, not
uh
attractive. But
I mean this had to be in the 70s or early 80s, and even then they still looked like a grandma and grandpa, like they looked fucking hideous.
hideous.
That clarifies. I was about to say, I was like, Grandma. I thought you said it was his mom.
Well, it's
It's
Steve's mom,
Steve's
so it would
mom.
be that girl's grandma.
It would be the
Steve's
niece's
niece's
grandma.
grandma.
God damn, dude.
These are like the pictures you would use to be like,
Learn how to wear cologne.
I have this boner
I
and it
feel
won't
like
go
I'm
away.
drowning in
And I'm
it.
like, here, look at this.
Fucking
Here, take
A.
two of these.
Look at two of these. And then it'd be like, boo.
Okay.
Like they looked old back then. They looked very old.
What's going
I
on
don't
over
know how
there,
old they
Casey?
are.
Dude, my son, because I mean, I don't want to get too personal on pod, but everybody that isn't familiar with my situation, my home life, I'm going through a divorce, and my son is in my room with me, my 16-year-old. And apparently he just picked up an extra shift at his job, and his clothes are I don't know what the problem is. He what did you say? They smell like ass. They have ice cream and they're covered in ice cream apparently. I guess he forgot.
You
But
cut
he
out.
fucking
Okay, you're back.
oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay. He
Forgot.
said he smelled they smell like ass and they're covered in ice cream apparently. But he missed out on putting them in the washer on laundry day apparently, and he decided to douse himself in cologne that is insanely strong
As
in the
you do.
first place, which yeah, right, as somebody his age does. And now I'm suffocating in the cologne smell.
Okay.
It's awful. I mean,
I
it's
thought
not awful, like it's a good smell, but like cologne. It can go from like good to bad when you overdo it real
Can
fast. And And this is one of those colognes where if you overdo it even a little bit, it's a musky smell. So it's just like you fucking taste it. And right now, all I can do is taste it right in my face.
Can
And
I
bam!
can I just say, like, the rest of the story of explaining it is good, but the way you started it off was like, as you know, I'm going through a divorce. And then the rest of the story had nothing to do with the divorce. You were just like, my stinky ass son in his stinky ice
Well,
cream clothes.
well, without any context, without any context that I'm going through a divorce, it'd be weird to be like, yeah, 16-year-old. And then people are gonna be like, why
Just
does
say
he
my
share a room
my
with a
son forgot
six?
to wash his work clothes, so he doused himself in cologne, and it's very strong.
Yeah, but he's right here and he shares a
That
room with me.
that covers everything. Well, nobody knows that.
I mean,
Nobody could see him or anything.
they know it
Why
now
would he be putting cologne on in my room?
because
I
we know
didn't even
that
know you were in your room.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. See,
because
look at that. Stunned fucking silence right there. It's like,
because
yeah, that's a good point. I
previously
don't know
we
why you're
know that
talking
your
to me in your
kids keep
son's room.
coming in your room from other podcasts, so it's like
Am I
could
frozen
have
again?
just no, you're not frozen.
No,
Oh,
So it could have just been them coming in, and you're like, whoa, whoa.
why? I mean, a little kid coming in and being like, "Hey, Dad, are you busy?"
We can't
Versus a
see them
16.
coming in now though with your background.
Not now, but but you weren't hinting now. You just meant in general.
I'm just saying, in previous podcasts, it's been established that
Yeah,
kids just
whatever.
come in your room at
Move
random.
on.
in your car, and they just pop in.
It'd be weird for him to be like, "Hey, Dad." All right, bye, Dad. Like, the fuck is that? That doesn't make any sense. That makes less sense than.
It's just weird that you're like, as you know, I'm going through a divorce, and my son is stinky.
No. I said, as you know, I'm going through a divorce and I have to share a room with my son. That was what I said. So get it right.
But you didn't have to
That's what I
bring
said.
any of that up. You could have just been like I got
No, I
fucking
mean I
cologne
get it.
bombed.
It provides context, but at the same
It
time, I
does.
don't think that all the context was necessary for the story to make sense or whatever. That's all.
It also didn't need
It
to be
did
commented
provide. It
on.
did provide a good moment. So
You could have let it go. You could have been like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I
I was
know."
just pointing it out because it's funny. Just the way
Exactly.
it's brought
So
up, it's
fuck you.
funny.
Fuck you guys for acting like you don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
yeah, one more question, Casey,
All right.
or maybe you have two.
No, I have one.
I know I have
No,
one.
wait, no, I think I do have two because my first question was who did it.
Yeah, I think
That's
you have
right.
two.
All right, fuck it. Okay, oh shit. Everything that I need to ask, like you basically offered up all the details, man. I don't do we even need to ask questions with how much detail he gives?
He
Shit,
did give a lot, but that's because
he
almost
did.
all of it is true, but something. We just had to figure out what that something
I
is.
know.
I mean, does
The,
it
the,
encompass everything? Maybe it's that Steve didn't talk to Bob about it the next morning.
no, I
Uh,
remember that. I'm pretty sure it
uh,
was the fact that he contributed to putting it on. I want to say it was James that did this. Something
He
tells me this was
oh,
James that did it.
he was there too.
or,
Yeah,
or
I know.
maybe he helped him
And that
instead of Daniel. Well, he just said he was there though, so now I don't know.
that or it was James and Daniel that put it on
What if
because
it
I don't
wasn't his parents that were in there? She just found an envelope of whoever used to live
um,
in the house or something like that, and it was random people.
yeah, something tells me number two is real. We need to hedge our bets so he doesn't end up winning, but
I can't think of
I'm
another question to ask. Can
I
you?
can't think of a more yeah, I don't think I can't think of a question that could
Once we hear the real
pinpoint.
story, I'm sure we'll be like, "Oh, I could have asked this to maybe figure it out," but I
Yeah,
don't know. I really don't know.
hindsight's 2020, man. Hindsight is always 2020.
True.
Okay. Okay. Let me think of one real fast. Okay, so what kind of truck was it?
A Jeep.
A Jeep? Okay.
I said it was a Jeep in the story.
I forgot. I don't.
I think he did,
That's
yeah.
like you said. I'm out of question. Fuck it.
And then
I'll take.
I think you implied this too, but I'll ask this just to get my last one out. They were just on the outside of the truck, right? You couldn't get into the truck to put them in there, right?
It was a Jeep. It was an open Jeep. Like
Oh, an open top Jeep.
you could put it with. They were all over the seats on the steering wheel. We put them on the wiper blades, so he had to physically take them out of the wiper blade.
All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna trust what your memory, Casey, and say that number one is a different movie from Beetlejuice.
Watch, that one's going to be the correct one. Don't go off on. I don't. But
I know what I'm picking, but I'm gonna let you pick first.
I mean, I know which one you want to pick. You want to pick number 2, just like me, because that still
But yeah,
sounds like the truest
I'll pick
one.
something different though.
How about this? How about you can go number 2.
All right, I think it's.
I'll go number 1 because I don't think number 3 is correct.
Oh,
There's
he's gonna get us, man. He's gonna get us.
okay. You think
Look at that smile on his face. What if it's one though?
don't do that?
All right, I'm
Okay.
gonna say fine. I'm saying number 2 officially. Number 2, final
All
answer.
right. All right. All right.
Are you sure about that?
Now I want to
I'm
go
not.
number 3, but I want to go number 1 just to hedge my bets because I feel like there's something. I don't know why, but I remember story 3 though, but I don't know what detail he changed. But for some reason, I don't remember it being Beetlejuice. I remember him saying he rented a movie so much, but I don't remember it being Beetlejuice. Because how much does he talk about Beetlejuice, really? Like,
Yeah,
he
I
never talks
never.
about
He
Beetlejuice.
he does like Mike Myers though. I'm sorry, Michael Keaton.
Keaton, yeah, but he never talks about Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
What do I even
And
really ever talk about other than Halloween, though? I don't bring
Yeah,
up
I've heard
any
you
other
mention the
movie.
turtles a couple times. It seems.
and you used to love Ninja Turtles back in that era too. I remember
And
you
all the
talking about being
figures.
a fan of the toys and everything. The anime came out, I believe, in the '90s. If I'm not mistaken, it came out like late '80s, early '90s. Taken.
I had all the turtle toys. I also had the Beetlejuice mask where you press the button and the snakes fucking pop up. And I used to scare my neighbor Tamara with it all the fucking time. She was probably like 1.5. She was a baby. And then I had the fucking magic box where you put in Beetlejuice. Like you put in a small version of Beetlejuice
Don't give
and then
more
you pull a
details.
lever.
Don't give more
I'm
details.
telling you about everything I had. You want to be like, you don't like Beetlejuice, you never talk about it.
I mean, I'm not saying you don't like it, but I mean,
Hold on.
I would have thought that. Okay, I'll go. Oh man, what Pat? Pat, should I go number 1 now? Should I go number 1 just to hedge the bet? Because something tells me there's like like 3 sounds so close, but there's got to be a detail missing.
I don't like it, huh?
Okay, I never said you don't like it. I said
I
you
got
never
lots
talk
of
about it.
Beetlejuice stuff.
Someone also tells me that you didn't put those pictures up. I remember that story. I don't remember
Do you?
all the detail.
Do
Friends
you?
that had the woman that ran around naked in her apartment. And that was the
There's
story
Pat.
that did. Huh?
You're finally back. We can hear you.
Oh, was I frozen again?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were gone for a while.
Oh,
But did you hear me? I said, should I go with number 1 just to hedge our bets, just in case?
I don't know.
Did you see it?
Number 3 sounds. I don't know.
Did you see it, Pat?
Okay.
I saw it. Yes, I said, and I didn't realize I was frozen. Why would he show you that?
To fuck with us, that's the
Because
thing. Like that's
he's like, you don't like Beetlejuice. You're not a
I never
fan.
said you don't like
Yeah, but
You're
Beetlejuice. I
not a
said
real
you how
fan.
show it
much
to
do you
you to
talk
get you
about?
to convince you to pick number 1. He doesn't want to lose.
All right, fine. I'll go with number 3.
I don't know though. Don't go based on me. I'm just bringing up
No,
points.
no. I know. That's what I want to go with number 1 to hedge our because something tells me
If that's what you feel strongest about, let's do it. I go number 2. You go number 1.
I will say this. I predicted he was going to win this regardless. I really did. I really do believe he's going to win this somehow. But I'm going to go with number 1 to hedge my bet. Something tells me that I don't know, man. Oh, I hate you and your fucking real stories with minor details, you bitch.
What if you went number
That's
1
gotta
and
be a
I went
cheat.
number 3? Do you feel least strong about number 2?
No, because I remember him talking about a fucking crazy ass lady with a win.
But it could be a mutual friend that had this happen, or
Yeah,
something
but
like
see
that.
the detail I feel is that she went around all the way. I swear to God, it was like a couple times at his door. I don't remember. I don't
Hmm.
remember the whole going around on everybody's door, knocking and
I
running
also
away.
told
Like,
you that this was about the time I physically seen it.
yeah, I know.
I heard about the other
I know.
times, but this is
Okay,
about when
okay.
I physically seen it.
Stop trying to Walt Flanagan us right now. Okay, we got to think.
He's doing it, dude. He's doing a good
He's
job.
doing a good job. He's doing a very good. I told you. I think he might win this
You
just
want to
because
know
he's
what
Walt
you're
I'm
thinking
Flanagan.
sticking to it.
about?
Number 2, final answer.
You want
No,
to know
no,
what you're
don't.
thinking about for
No,
number
don't.
one?
No, don't. I don't want to know. I want to get it right or wrong on my own. I don't want to get it. I don't want you to influence it.
I'm
I'll say.
just.
You know what? I'll go number 3. I'll trust my good. I'll go number 3. You go number 2.
All right,
Well,
Oh,
reveal it.
what are what are your answers? Lock them in.
oh, okay.
Number 2.
Number 3. If he won
Uh-oh.
this,
I kept telling you about my love for Beetlejuice and showing you this shit, and I was about to tell you what you're thinking of. You're thinking of the Three Amigos, or the Three Amigos. You're thinking of when I got the fucking cutout cardboard because we rented that movie a lot too.
so number 1 was the correct one.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
the
I'm sorry,
detail.
Casey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You had it.
Sorry.
You had it, and I
I
Walt Flanagan you out of it by bringing up.
He did too, because I'm like, why is he giving you all this? Why?
it's all
So the
good.
detail
You were
about
already
number
leaning
one.
towards it, and he was showing you more proof that you were right. He's
The
too good at
detail about
this.
number one he was thinking about was he also knows that we rented the movie Three Amigos, but it wasn't as much. But they had like the cardboard cutout, and I'm sure they were just
Mhm.
going to be throwing it away, regardless, right? Because who's going to keep that shit? And they gave it to
Honestly,
me.
I remember you talking about a movie. I honestly think it was.
Wow.
It's
All
Yeah.
right,
Beetlejuice, but
what's the truth about 2 and 3?
so the twist on number two is
Was I right? She didn't go from apartment to apartment.
she did.
Oh,
She technically wasn't naked because she had a partial see-through, like, shower curtain wrapped around her, so you could see some stuff, but not really, not all of it.
all right. What was number 3?
I didn't put the pictures on, but the pictures did get put on
I knew
by
it.
James Daniel
That's why
and I think
I knew it.
I think Matt.
I said it. I was
You had
right.
it. I
100%.
steered you in the wrong direction. I'm sorry. That was my
God damn it!
I knew it
That's
was
definitely on me.
I
But
told you.
he's the first one to win one.
It was
Uh,
I knew it was happening,
I
but
knew
I
he was
didn't
gonna
take
win
part in
this.
it
I knew he was
because
gonna win
I'm an
this
old
one.
man and I like to sleep.
Congratulations, Arlie. Congratulations.
You know why I brought up the Beetlejuice stuff too?
Why's that?
You're not going to believe this, but there's a new
Try
Beetlejuice
and
trailer out.
oh my
Oh
god.
shit! No way. Say more.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that until right before we started recording and we watched it. What'd you guys think about it?
I
well, with
think
all the detail they gave, it's almost like I watched the entire movie already. The
I
juice
think
is back.
The juice is loose.
Yeah.
I think the mom still sort of looks the same age as she did.
I don't think that, but
Um,
she looks younger than she did in Schitt's Creek, though. So they either de-aged her or did a nice makeup job or something, because she definitely looks younger than she did on that show.
She doesn't look exactly the same, but I mean, it looks.
Winona Ryder. Is that her name?
Like you could
Yeah.
tell Winona Ryder got older.
I don't know. I feel like they
Winona
actually did
Ryder
a
aged like worse than she did on what they made it look like. Like she still looks like probably mid-40s the way they made the mom look.
Mhm.
I don't know,
And
but then
Winona
again,
Ryder.
I only saw the thumbnail of like the cast members, but man, you could tell the mom aged a lot.
I
But
saw a side by side of Winona Ryder in the first movie and in the sequel, and yeah, you could tell she aged too. I mean, she's not that she
she
looks
did.
bad. You could just tell she's aged.
Also been like
Yeah.
30, almost
Nobody
30
aged
years.
more than Michael Keaton, though.
Yeah, wow. I mean, who
But
among us doesn't age after 30 years, right?
he's like in
True.
his fucking 70s though. Like he's he's gonna look bad.
But that
Yeah.
line that he said, "The juice is loose," I think that was perfect. And they did not give us very much, but I'm intrigued. I would check it out.
Uh,
I mean, I liked the first movie, but I was never like a huge diehard fan of it or anything like that. I thought it was very weird for the most part, but I enjoyed it. And for the longest time, the guy that played the dad or whatever, the family that moves in, I always just assumed he was one of the bad guys because like the other two were, but like he just wanted to relax and wanted some peace and quiet, and nobody would leave him alone. They were always, we got to decorate this, we got to have this party here, we got to decorate that. Like, he just wanted to be left alone. They're the ones that wanted to change everything. His wife and the decorator.
and he wanted to bird watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just trying to mind his own business, and he got drug into all that.
Speaking of that dad,
We don't
did
need
you
to talk
know
about. We don't need to talk about
that?
that.
No, that's not what I was going to say at all. I was just going to say, speaking about that dad, did you know that they didn't really have a dad in the first Ouija, second Ouija? Anyway,
Oh, you're
into the
breaking
movie
out.
review.
Your audio is
Yeah,
breaking out. They didn't really have a dad. What?
they didn't have a dad in the first Ouija movie. He died in the origin of evil. And that brings us into our movie review because I'm skipping past a lot because I didn't time,
Yeah,
and we got to get going.
yeah. That was
Yeah,
good. That was
yeah.
good.
You know what I would
Okay,
have done?
bring us in.
No,
Retro review.
retro review time. Woo, 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 woo. All right,
I
so
would have
this
said.
week,
Speaking of summoning things,
speaking
you
about
can
so many things, yeah,
you can summon
could
things
have,
with a
but
Ouija board.
I went with something that was completely unrelated, just like every other, so it fit
Just edit
the
all that
scheme.
other stuff out and use that.
No,
Start out by saying, "Speaking of
I
summoning," and then
wanted
just
to
cut the
not
rest
relate to shit.
out.
Yeah, I wanted to not relate to shit, just like all the others did.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So, anyway, yeah, in this retro movie review, we're doing Ouija, Origin of Evil, which, if nobody's familiar with this series of sorts, I wouldn't say series, there's only really two as of now, but they definitely open up the possibility to three. But I'm in the middle, man. You know that. Anyway, see, there's the interruption that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we gotta love fucking kids.
No context
Fucking,
necessary.
yep.
I mean, only a few types of people like that, and they usually end up in jail. And then when people find out that they like doing that, they kill them.
Sorry, I missed out what you were saying. Anyway, I'm just gonna brush past that anyway because I want to get out of here. Sorry to fuck this whole ending up,
No.
but
I'm with you. Let's do it.
it's already almost 6:30. His timeline's almost up, and I gotta go start dinner.
What's that mean? Is that a
So
threat?
this is a no. What? No! Don't cancel me. I didn't do anything. I don't have an OnlyFans. Uh, so shit. I lost my train of thought because my little kid. Anyway, so Ouija Origin of Evil. It's the second one in the series. It's a prequel to the first one that came out in 2014. It was created in 2016, I believe. And honestly, did you have a chance to watch it, Pat? Did you get a chance to watch it all?
I did, yes. I did not
Okay,
rewatch the first one, but I did watch Origin of Evil.
good, good. I know we have to sell Arlie on it, or at least try to sell him on it because he's
Well, it's the
scared of
type of
haunting
movie.
niche movies.
Yeah, it's the type of movie that he's scared of, so he definitely wouldn't watch it. I don't think there's any way to sell him on it.
Now, that's a good one too. Honestly,
You
it
can
starts
probably
off
sell me on it.
okay.
All
Well,
right.
it starts off in a somewhat small town, a very religious town, it seems. Uh, the mom is the daughter of what used to be a fortune teller, who she thought was just full of shit, to put it bluntly, and yet carried it on anyway to try to support bills due to her husband's untimely passing, which is why there's no dad in that movie. And he she ropes in her daughter when she starts getting contacted by the spirits after finding a Ouija board in the house.
Well, that's not. That's not. She buys the Ouija board because the daughter went to a party at a friend's house and they had a Ouija board, and she was telling her mom about it and said maybe we can incorporate it into our act. So she went and bought one
Am I
from the
misremembering that?
store. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. You know what? I'm mixing up the first one and the second one.
Hmm.
Although there's reasons why, as we
Well,
come
I
to find
assume
out
you haven't
later.
rewatched it. You just watched it that time whenever you suggested it because you had just watched it, right? So it's been a minute
Yeah.
since you
Yeah.
watched it.
Yeah. It's been a little bit, but either way, so they bring forth what they believe to be the spirit of their dad, and she proves it to her mother and her sibling, her sister, that she is contacting the other side. And little do they know that they're not contacting the dad, but the prior spirits in the house. So I don't know if you want to touch down on it, Pat, and tell me what you thought about it all. I don't want to give away too much because I don't want to spoil the ending. I think it was a good ending. I will
Yeah, I
give a
mean, what
recommendation
happens in the
to
end
watch.
is good. I think that the ending was a little lackluster for me, but not like what happened. I don't know if that makes sense. But I think that it was setting up a really good vibe, and then all of a sudden I noticed I was three-quarters through the movie, and I was like, oh, like I felt like I was entertained the whole time, but not like it wasn't like scary for a long time, a long portion of the movie. They didn't
It
really go
wasn't.
for a lot of scares.
No, they didn't. Honestly, what they went for was like the psychological aspect of it, like the creepy ambiance of it. I think
And they
is
were
what
setting up a decent vibe.
they did. I
I
feel like they
enjoyed the
did.
movie overall, but I think there was some acting that was a little on the weak side, not all of it, but some. Um and I thought that I just thought that it wasn't that scary. They could have done more for scares. But again, they were setting up psychological. It just seemed to take a long time to set it up, but they were setting it up nicely.
Yeah, and I know
It
whose
took a while.
acting you were talking about. You're talking about this. Let's face it. We know.
The what? You
I
cut
know.
out.
Oh man, am I now? I'm cutting out shit.
Just the
All right,
audio.
I said. Oh, maybe it's this. Hold on. Turn that fan. I said that we all know whose acting you were, and it's the daughters, the sister, the older sister's acting.
The youngest one.
You think the youngest sister? I don't know. I thought she played a good. I thought
I
she did
thought
good at being possessed, because it
I
clearly
thought
like
she was
she
good at that stuff,
changed
but everything that's
midway.
not that, I thought she was a little stale.
Well, see,
Um,
that's the weird part, right? That's the part, right? She was supposed to be like that kind of outcast to begin with, and then her mother roped her into the fortune telling after after the spirit came into the house, and she started contacting the spirit in
her
the
mom
house.
didn't necessarily rope her in. I'll refresh you again just because I just watched it
No,
today.
I would say she roped her in. That's me saying that because I
Well, I mean,
feel
I
like
guess
she
she
took
brought it
advantage
to
of
the
it.
house.
She did.
She
She took
set the
advantage
Ouija
of her
board up
daughter.
after she bought it. She set it up in a completely different room. The daughters were in their bedroom. She was in the room where they do the readings. So she set it up and she was like, is there a spirit here? And then in the other room, the youngest daughter just kind of looked up and was like, yes. And then in the other room, the mom was like, what is your name? It was like she was just practicing these questions though. But the girl was answering them all because like in that moment, that's kind of when it started happening.
Yeah, but I meant later, like when her
Oh
daughter
yeah,
actually
yeah.
came in,
Because she
she
had
roped
that
her
gift.
into it because she could. Yeah,
She had
that's what I
that
meant.
gift.
Yeah, the gift. Yeah, but that's what I meant by roping. I feel like her character changed then. In the beginning, I mean, you can't really say that it didn't change due to that. She had
Oh, it
you got
definitely
to think
changed,
about
but I
the
just
idea
think
of the
that
little kid
it
being
had a reason to change
contacted.
anyway. But I think she was pretty stale most of the time. When she was full out possessed, that was good. Oh,
I don't know. I feel
and
like
this is kind of a spoiler, but kind of not because we already know that there's a sequel to this because of the first
yeah,
Ouija. But at the very end, there's a doctor looking through a window, and then the camera pans, and you see. I assume it was,
it
but it
was
was
the
a demon or
sister.
whatever standing on the
No,
ceiling and walking over to him. But she did this funny little scatter over to it. I thought that was pretty funny, but that's the
it
last thing
was
you see.
it was the sister. It was
Yeah,
the
I
actual
figured that. I just
sister.
didn't want to. I just didn't want to spoil that.
Oh fuck it. We already. If we're gonna add context, I want to make it look like I know what I'm talking about. I
Oh well, yes,
honestly,
yes, it was. It was. But I thought that the movement they had her make towards the doctor was funny.
it was definitely hilarious. The double take when he was like, he's like, oh, that's weird. He turned around and then like that little waddle, like
Yeah,
up from the
that
ceiling.
fast waddle over yeah, along the
Yeah,
ceiling.
yeah.
That was pretty funny. I mean, I thought
I
that the
say,
visuals were good. Like whenever the demon was grabbing the older sister, whenever the younger sister's mouth came all open wide. Like I thought it looked
yeah,
good. I don't know what the
I thought
budget
it
was
was
or
interesting
anything, but
how.
and I'm also not picky on effects at all, so you can get away with bad effects on me, and I'll still think they look good.
No, I honestly I thought it was interesting the way they handled the possession when he possesses her 100%. The way she figured out like that she was being used, right? If I could use that word, because it was like she was being used. At first, it seemed like she was on the side of him, and then it kind of got
Hmm.
dark and weird and spacey. And even the older sister started to recognize the change.
Hmm.
I'm blanking on. I can't remember if she started notice after she was fully possessed. But how she became fully possessed was, I think, a really good way to see it. Couldn't see the demon or the spirit himself until she looked into the mirror, and then by that time it was
Or
too late essentially.
through the viewing hole of
The
the
viewing
Ouija
hole,
board, right?
but not only but remember the way she did it. She looked through the viewing hole of the Ouija. What was that piece? I forget what the piece was called.
Yeah,
I
I can't
forget. It
remember what
was
it's called.
started with an S. I know that it was like Spella or something like that. Anyway, when she looked through it, she had to look through it at a mirror to see what was behind her
Oh,
because
okay.
every time she looked to her left and right, the spirit would try to hide behind her.
Hmm.
So, being a little bit intuitive, she was like, okay, let me kind of surprise this motherfucker by looking at him in the mirror. Freaked her out, realized it wasn't her dad, and that's when
You're
and from
cutting
there,
out a lot.
uh, I don't know what you guys heard and didn't hear.
I'm kind of following it, but that's just because I've seen the movie.
Okay. Well, can you reiterate it then so I don't have to I don't want to reiterate it
Well,
and then I get
I
cut
mean,
out
like I
and then
said,
I have to do it again.
for the most part, but you said the demon was trying to hide behind her, so she couldn't see it, and she had to look into the mirror. And I wanted to bring up though that the priest, when he came over, I thought it was cool that they didn't do your standard exorcism scene in it. Um,
Yeah.
and I thought, and the priest worked at the school, and he came and he did a reading because the older sister tuned him in on there's something going on, so he came to get a reading so he could see the situation, and he outsmarted the demon in a way. That's how he figured out that she was possessed, and it was a really cool way of doing that too. And also, and this is a big spoiler, but I thought the priest was going to ride it out to the end, but he bites it pretty quickly
I
after he gets
know.
involved.
I was so sad about that. I was
Yeah, he seemed
but
like a good guy.
he's a phenomenal actor. To switch gears now that because I don't want to give it away. Oh, but I know we have to I don't know. Should we do a rating scale on this one since it really was only the two of us this time? Should we go forego the typical rating?
You
No,
can
we can
still
still
rate
rate it
it.
out of 10. We can still rate it out of 10.
All right, I out of a 10, I give it a me personally, I give it a 7.5. People that don't know that, watch the movie. You'll know what I'm talking about.
I don't have anything funny to tag on at the end, but I will say that on an enjoyment level, I enjoyed it. I would mark it high there, but overall, as a movie, because it took so long to really get going, I think because I didn't like the ending that much, I would probably say like 5, like
Don't
pretty
forget
pretty
though,
mid. But I enjoyed it.
they were shoehorned in though. Don't forget that they were shoehorned into the ending because of the original.
Okay,
Remember
I mean
that. So you
that's
got to remember that too. So they had to set it up that way to make sense for the original or
maybe
for
I'll
the
bump it up
first
to
one.
5.5. I can say that anything I've ever heard of people talking about this movie, they think it's trash, and I don't get that. It's definitely not trash. I don't know.
If
I'm not a
if
deep
you
diver into
watch,
these type of things to look into the writing and stuff like that, but that's why when something sticks out to me about bad writing, I'm like, this movie sucks because I noticed it, and I don't usually. So
see
I didn't
what
notice
I
any problems with the writing.
see what I liked about it, and like I said, I don't want to give away detail, but if I was to recommend to watch this, I kind of like the idea of watching Origin of Evil first and then Ouija the first one, and not just
Hmm.
because of the timeline's sake, but because, and I know this is probably a giveaway for the first Ouija movie, but I like the setup that they had in the first one. If you remember, if you, I know you said you watched
Refresh
the
me,
first
yeah, because
one,
I haven't watched in a while.
so in the first one, the the kids get a Ouija board and they're trying to contact, or I should say, it starts out with another owner in the house, right? And they start out as little kids and they're just having fun at her friend's house outside of the main house that the origin took place in, right? It
Hmm.
started out as a friend's house and they played Ouija as kids and asked it a bunch of, silly questions that normal little girls would ask. Cut to about 12 years later or something like that, or 8 years. uh they're growing up, she still grew up, she's in the same house, and she went to go clean out the attic, and they find the original Ouija board that took place in the original movie, which is why I
Hmm.
said I thought that it came from the house, because that's what happened in the
Okay, yeah.
first one. So I got
Hmm.
that detail mixed up, and they tried to incinerate the board
Yeah, yeah.
for the
They
detail
definitely
that
had
we
one of
left
those
out.
scenes. Yeah,
Yeah, they tried to incinerate the board and it just kept coming back,
yeah.
which they also did again in the original as well. But so cut to like 8 years later, they're teenagers in college, they're, or not college, in high school. They're seniors, and I believe like they're on their way next year. And she went to go clean out her attic and she found an old Ouija board in the attic from the previous owner. Now, she didn't know that this was a haunted place and that there were spirits laying dormant there for years. So when she picked the Ouija board back up and she played alone, which is against the rules, there are
Yeah.
rules to Ouija. You don't play alone. You always say goodbye, and that way the spirits, you can disconnect from the spirit world. So, but this Ouija board doesn't allow you to disconnect. That's the catch. So she opens the gate to the spirit world again, and it takes over slowly, and the spirit makes her essentially kill herself. And that's how that's like the first like 5 minutes to 10 minutes of the first movie. And then from there, it's her friends that take over the Ouija movie and,
Hmm.
or take over for the rest of the movie.
I
And I
did
know
just remember something from Origin of Evil that may be considered bad writing. Because again, I don't know how deep we want to go into spoilers, but you remember what
I'm
the
going
ghost or
spoilers.
what the okay. So the demon or person or whatever that was possessing the youngest daughter,
Yeah, there
apparently the
was
guy that used to own the house used to
be a
kill
doctor.
people, torture people, and he's got like just a bunch of skeletons and stuff all inside the walls and in the basement and stuff like that. So it was these spirits of the people that he killed. But
Yeah,
I
they
just
did
started
change
thinking about
that.
it, and I'm like, why are they trying to kill all these innocent people? But I guess there could just be mad because they got killed and they were innocent people. But it seems
Not
like
only
that
that,
doesn't.
not only that, but they did change something which I didn't know until the first one, which I feel like that's where I'm saying the bad writing came from.
Hmm.
And I tried to overlook it because I was trying to do it from a different perspective. Like they thought that if you mix it correctly, you could see where it took place. So in the origin, they say that it was a doctor from World War II, right? It was like a German who fled the country and came over here and did experiments and killed people and basically put their bodies behind a wall. And it was basically a burial ground, which is why the place was haunted in the first place. And spirits were uneasy and not at rest, which is where they all came from. And the doctor's spirit stayed in the house. In the original, though, it used to be a fortune teller's room. That's where the fortune teller's room used to be. Now, where people might say like it's bad writing, in my opinion, what I think happened is they took what happened in that house in the origin of evil and put it towards that that's why that spirit that house was originally haunted. And the old story or the original story was forgotten about the evil doctor. I think they purposely got it twisted because in the original movie, if you don't remember, the sister that's in the mental institution at the very end, for spoilers, like I said, we're spoiling it all. Let's just spoil it all the way. The sister that got put in the mental institution this
Wait, are you
and hitters.
are you reviewing the other movie now?
No, not intentionally. Not intentionally. But it goes into why the story seemed like it was off because there was one issue with the second one that people point to a lot that I could tell, and and this is why I think they point to it though, and they don't consider the first one, and they don't think about the origin of evil and the fact that the mom and the grandmother were fortune tellers. I think that history got overwritten in the first movie, and that's all people thought about. Can I ask what you guys are doing in here, please?
This is all over the. How do you stab my head with it?
The staple should have been given to your mom. Please go out there, guys. I'm not done. Thank you. I love you guys.
So if you had to, though, would you rather watch the Origin of Evil or the original one?
Sorry. I think you can't watch one without the other, in my opinion. And that's why I think the storytelling was a little weak. It seemed, but once you watch it as a group, I think it fits in perfectly. And I'll try to wrap it up so it's not too long, like I wanted it to be in the first place. So, in the second one, all of the fortune teller stuff is now in that secret back room instead of the doctor's supplies. And in the original, the sister, the older sister, to avoid getting killed or continuously haunted by the little sister, lied for the little sister and told the new group of teenagers in the first movie, aka the sequel or pre or whatever, uh, told her that it was the mom that they had to be worried about, protect her from the sister, and and that's why I think everything got pushed into that room. Everything was hidden. Now by who, I don't know, and I think that's where the third one's going to come into play, but I'm not sure exactly. But we'll see later in
Well, I'll
time.
just
But
say that if you just take this movie by itself, you don't have that issue. There's no conflict with it if you just take it by itself.
if you
So
take
bad
Origin
writing
of
because
Evil,
they were supposed to make it sync up and they didn't, but by itself, it's fine.
I think so. Yeah. I feel like that is.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
there you have it.
yeah.
Hey, speaking of Nazis hiding bodies,
Mhm.
would you rather have to kiss every person you meet or never kiss your partner again?
Oh man.
Every person. I don't want to kiss every person.
When you say kiss, like, do you mean like kiss them on the lips, or could I kiss any part of their body? I'm not allowed to kiss them at all.
Does it have to be a specific kind of kiss?
I'll say however you kiss your partner is how you would have to kiss them, because it's talking about also kissing your partner.
Hmm.
Okay. So if I'm allowed to kiss other parts of her, I'll go with
Is that how
I'll
you
go with
kiss her all the time, though?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd rather not ever
Well,
be able to kiss my girl.
we'll take it back to the '90s lingo. You're laying the Mac down on them.
Okay. Okay. The reason I ask is because if it's like you can never kiss your girlfriend again, or you have to kiss everybody, I'd rather just never kiss my girlfriend on the lips again.
It just says
Here,
never kiss your partner again.
it does seem
See,
like you get in a lot less trouble going with that one, so
yeah.
I'd
Is
have
there
to go with that
consequences
one.
for kissing everybody?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you rather date somebody who your family loves and your friends despise, or who your friends love and your family despise?
Mm, that's a tough one. Yes, in my current situation, mine sees my family more than my friends, so I guess I would have to say family loves her, friends
That's
despise
kind of
her.
where I'm leaning. So that's where I'm kind of leaning towards too, because I'm like, I rarely see my friends. So I'd have to. I agree with Pat. I go with that answer too. I'd rather my family like her and my friends despise her.
Real quick, we didn't pick our next review, but Casey, you have to decide the category,
Oh
and then
God,
Arlie is your pick.
did we do suspense? I wouldn't mind doing like a suspense or a thriller or horror. I'm running out of like subcategories here because we've done B movies, we've done comedy,
Yeah, I guess we could just
sci-fi, we've
shout out at this
done
point. We could just shout out
haunting.
movies if you guys want. It's Arlie's turn, but he can just shout out a movie, a horror movie.
Yeah, fuck it. At
It
this
can
point,
be
yeah,
suspense. It
let's
can be
get rid of
thriller, but in
genres.
that
We
realm.
we could do it with the horror suspense type thing. And I
Okay.
am gonna go with The Strangers.
Ugh. All right.
None of us like
Finally
it,
have a movie that I'm going to give a really low score to.
but I bring that up
I
because
gave it a one lackluster stabbing at the end there.
there's a new
Fucking
Strangers movie coming out.
Oh yeah.
Supposed to be
I've
the
seen a review of the second one, and the second one looks terrible. Wait, wasn't it? How many are there? Is there only two out right
there's
now?
there's two, and then this one
I've
is
seen
like
a
a
review of the
prequel.
second one, and it was terrible. A long, in-depth review where they show you clips as they go from the whole movie, and it was terrible. Way worse than the first one.
I'm not gonna pick that. I know all of us hate it.
Like
all
if
right.
you started it, like Liv Tyler ruined that movie because she flips out so quick before she knows anything is wrong. We know something's wrong, but she didn't know that in the movie, and she's hiding in her room yelling, "Leave me alone!" And she doesn't know anything's wrong yet. And I did though, like that time I woke up in the middle of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I woke up after that part, and I'm like, "That's not bad." The ending still sucks, and it ruins it, but yeah, her acting and she didn't bother me as much when I started it after that initial freak out.
So all it is
Yeah.
just
Weak sauce. All right, what's your pick, Harley?
Uh,
The Strangers 2.
Electric
is
Boogaloo. I'm looking up horror thrillers just to. How do you guys feel about Brightburn? Because that's a horror thriller.
I loved it. It was actually really good.
Um, it's listing a wide range of movies that are like horror thrillers.
Well, because most of them are. You can
Um,
pretty much name any one that you want to. Is there just one that you've been wanting to do?
Scary Movie 3. Oh, okay. For a second, I just typed in the genre and I was like, Scary Movie 3 is not a thriller. The fuck?
I already know what I'm going to pick for this one, so. And
okay,
I don't think you guys have seen it, so it'll be a treat for you.
so I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm going to assume you have. I've seen it and it's good, and it's under this category. But Terrifier.
Oh, I have not. I've been wanting an excuse to watch that. So yeah, this will be exciting.
Terrifying. Okay.
Have you seen that one, Casey?
No.
All right.
I'm
Well,
looking them up now. I'm looking up
it'll
different
be a
ones.
treat.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to sorry, I was looking at the list. I watched the Babadook.
You what?
You watched?
I watched the Babadook.
Uh-huh.
It was not it was okay. It
I
was
think that there was a lot. I think it was good,
it,
but I think there
it
was a
ended
lot.
weirdly.
It was like a thinker or whatever. Like I liked it more after I watched like ending of Babadook Explained or whatever. Like I liked it more after
Oh,
that.
really?
And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So yeah, it flew over my head. I do that sometimes now. If I don't understand it, I'll watch it. Sometimes I'll watch it anyway. Like I did with Hereditary, and I'm glad I did because I did not understand it the way that they wanted me to. But it was fantastic. I liked it anyway. But when I got the explanation, I was like, holy crap. All right, we got one or two more quick hitters before we wrap it up.
Would you rather nobody showed up to your wedding or nobody shows up to your funeral?
Rather nobody showed up at my wedding because I fucking hate.
Because you what? You cut out again.
God damn it! It's got to be because of the fucking fan, man. I swear to God. I said I would rather nobody show up to my.
You keep
You
cutting
cut
out.
out at the exact same
I
spot
saw,
again.
I knew it as soon as I saw the. And like now, it keeps. It's cutting out like a
I
motherfucker.
think
Okay,
it's your cord, not the
I
fan.
yeah, clearly I got to get new headphones. I guess next week. I said I would rather nobody show up to my wedding because I fucking hate weddings.
Oh.
I know.
I guess I would
Blockbuster
say.
after that.
I guess I don't know which way to go. I guess I would say funeral because I won't be there to witness it.
That's what I would do. I'm not around.
Trust me, it's
I wouldn't
wedding.
know.
Says the person who barely had a wedding. That's what I'm talking about.
That's because I had to
Wedding.
have people there to sign witness papers. So I can't say I would not want to have anybody at the wedding because I had to have them there to sign the papers.
Okay, but I forgot about that, I suppose.
I was gonna go with wedding because I got married at a courthouse, but again, I had to have people there. So
I forgot that. Yeah, well, I forgot about that aspect of it. Yeah, well, let me know how you feel after your first divorce, okay, pal? I don't know what to say.
I'll,
And to
I'll
bring it back together.
I'll keep you posted.
That's why the
So,
divorce.
just for anybody that doesn't know, I'm going through a divorce.
For anybody that doesn't know, yeah. And I share a room with my oldest son, who stinks like ass.
Would
All
you
right, one more.
rather? Would you rather lose all of your friends and family but win the lottery, or keep your friends and family but you never get a raise again for the rest of your life?
I'd
It's
rather win
talking
the
with this
lottery.
family. Does that mean my wife and my son as well?
I'll say all family, all of it.
I'll win the lottery.
It's just you.
I'll take the lottery every goddamn day.
That's a tough one.
Fucking hate being
Never
poor.
get a raise again. Yeah, I'll go with that because I can always just quit and then start a new job whenever the minimum wage goes higher or whatever, and then I'll be guaranteed X amount. So I don't think that counts as a raise. I think that's a loophole, but I'm gonna go with that.
That's a good one. I go with lottery. I looked at the loopholes. I said, fuck the loopholes.
Nice.
I want
I
money.
guess I'm gone too, huh? Wait, does that when it says lose, that mean we all die, or you just like we all vanish from your life?
I'm guessing vanish from our life. I don't think it
Okay.
I don't think it means you all
Yeah,
die.
I'm still gonna go
I
with the
saw
same
my
thing.
audio cut out there for a second. I wasn't sure if it, if it cut out, but
Would you rather be
yeah,
handsome but
I thought
stupid,
so.
or intelligent and ugly?
Handsome and stupid.
I don't know. I'd probably go with handsome and stupid. I'm already borderlining stupid anyway. I think I just passed just slightly above like the
Yeah, the only
unintelligent
thing that's
mark.
gonna change is I'll be better looking. So
Yeah.
let's do it.
These ones are just like dumb. The dumb, like Would you rather would you rather have a mullet for a year or be completely bald for 6 months?
Mullet.
All that.
I'd
That's an
go
obvious one.
I'd go bald and just wear a hat or a beanie. I already rocked a
Oh,
You
mullet.
could still do that with a mullet.
Yeah, I was like, I would just tuck the
But I
mullet.
guess
You
a
know,
mullet is a year and that bald is 6 months. But I've had a mullet before, so I'll go with the mullet.
the mullet's in right now. Fuck it. You know, I'd be following a trend.
That's
It's
true.
like,
But all right, do we want to announce anything for next week? Do we have anything on the agenda for next week? Does somebody want to host a game?
I'm gonna be honest, man.
I know it's going to be a while before we get to record again, but
Not that. I found out recently. I told Arlie this. My schedule for the first month is I don't work weekends, but I do start working evenings after a couple of weeks. But I'm gonna be so fucking tired from because I'm not used to. You got to remember, I haven't been in the office or anything like that for 3 years now, and apparently I'm gonna start walking like 20,000 steps a day, they said, like on average.
hmm.
And I'm going to be walking through the entire hospital. So I'm going to be burnt out and I doubt I'm going to want to have put together a game. So the most I can do is maybe a DDT.
Okay.
And I'm still working on like how to get the game. I'm not even going to share it on air because I don't want to spoil it. But the game I talked about in our chat, I
Hmm.
still want to find a way to get that up and going.
That'd be cool. Okay, well, if we're going in order, then I'll. Or do you want to do a Duck Duck Truth next time, and then I'll do it. I'll do it the time after that. So we'll do that, and we'll do perfect albums.
Oh, I forgot about perfect albums.
I could
You know
save
what?
mine, or we could bring it up if you want, real quick.
I think it's too long right now, but we can definitely do it next time because I didn't get a chance to listen to anything, and I didn't put
Okay.
one out. So
I have a
Ooh,
perfect album. I'm ready to go with the perfect album, in my opinion.
you cut out.
No, I didn't.
you did.
I did. I saw the green line though this time. I've been
It was
looking out
gone.
for it.
It was gone. No, I think we should
I
save
have a
that though.
perfect
I
album.
think it's too long for this week, but next show we can do that.
All right, I'll let you do the DDT, Pat.
Okay.
Arlie, if you can save your perfect album till next week.
We
It
could
cut out, didn't it? I said save it till next week.
we could save them till next week. Give each other a
All right.
chance to listen to all of everyone else's pick to chime in on it.
Sounds good.
I'm just going fucking laptop quality now.
Okay.
Gotta
Well, anybody have anything else? Because if not, I'll wrap it up.
speaking of wrapping it up, this is where we wrap it up.
And with that, this has been this edition of Welcome to Pod Time, and we will catch you on the flippity flop. Bye, brother.
Speaking about Bye Brother, did you guys know that brother derived from two different Greek words?
Nope.
I didn't know either. Bye, brother.
That was Welcome to Pod Time, my personal favorite podcast. Do not forget to fucking slash that subscribe button, slash that like button, and leave a fucking comment, or you will get a visit from Uncle Freddy and his glove.